Hello guys, Michaela here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build in my Building Europe series. Today we are building a house inspired by beach cottages and houses in Ireland. I had a pair of grandparents in mind that retired and are enjoying their free time here. Maybe they moved from the city and they are now living on the coast. And there's also a spare bedroom for, I don't know, their kid or their grandkid, something like that. So that's what I had in mind, but technically the house would be good for a family of 3. So there is one master bedroom and one very small, not a kid's bedroom, but there's a single bed in it. So let's move on to the facts. It's a northwestern European country on the island of Ireland, which is shared by United Kingdom's Northern Ireland. It takes a very small part, so the majority of the island is Ireland. It is a parliamentary republic which was founded in 1922 as a result of a deal between England and Ireland, but it was declared a republic in 1949 after the war. The capital is Dublin. The country has almost 5 million inhabitants, with English and Irish as the official languages. Ireland is part of the European Union, but strangely not part of the Schengen area. It has some sort of deal. I'm not sure how it works now after Brexit, but it had a deal with England about free movement of United Kingdom's citizens. So you did not need a passport to cross the border between Ireland and the United Kingdom. But it's not part of the Schengen area, so we have to have a passport when we're going back. It is a member of the United Nations, but it is not a full member of NATO. It's just a member of some of the organization within the NATO organization. Now about the landscape and geography and everything. The central landscape is relatively low, mainly shaped by the glaciers, with a lot of lakes and rivers. The western landscape is mainly cliffs, hills and low mountains, with the highest point just over 1,000 meters. It is the least forested country in Europe. There are a lot of, I don't know how to call them, like very large meadows and like areas there where there are no trees. Yeah. The agricultural areas cover around 65% of the country's area, which is again very interesting because that's not very common. But I think it is given by the nature of the landscape that it's very low, not very big differences in the altitude. Yeah. The climate is influenced by the Gulf Stream and some oceanic streams, which means it's mild oceanic climate with not a big extreme differences. I mean, there are a little bit more extreme in the central, but yeah, the temperatures are not like extreme. What is very interesting that a lot of famous writers come from Ireland. For example, Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels, one of my favorite books of all time, Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, or James Joyce, the author of Ulysses. Another very interesting thing that I think is kind of really weird in a way, a lot of people emigrated from Ireland, and it is estimated that around 7 million people of Irish origin actually live around the world. So it's like 1.5 times what actually lives in Ireland at the moment. A lot of them left during the wars. A lot of them left during the Irish wars, because obviously before Northern Ireland formally joined the United Kingdom, it was one country, and there was a problem between the Catholics and the Protestants, or yeah, Protestants. I'm not really sure if they're called this way in English. So there was, I think religious battles are extremely difficult to deal with, because obviously religion is something higher than the people. I think, I'm not religious, but just from my point of view, so there were a lot of problems with religion, and a lot of people emigrated because of the war. So I think a lot of them lives in the English-speaking countries all over the world, so USA, Canada, Australia, South Africa. It's quite interesting to see that a lot of Irish people don't live in Ireland. I mean, a lot of European countries dealt with emigration during wars, especially, or later during the communist regime, the Eastern Europe. But this is, I think Ireland has a very specific position in this. So, yep. After Ireland joined the EU, it became one of the strongest and wealthiest economies in the world. It specializes in technology and food production. I think it was one of the first countries to join, even before the European Union itself was founded. So I think it was 1973, the same year as Britain did, I believe. Not really sure about that, but I think it is. So it's one of the founding countries, and it really helped Ireland to become a very evolved country. Tourism is one of the biggest contributors to the economy, around 4% of GDP. The biggest cities are obviously Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway. You can also see the scenic coastline, villages and towns by the shoreline, which we are, building a house inspired by at the moment. One of the most famous cliffs on the west coast of the country are the cliffs of Moher, which are very beautiful. I'll put pictures up on the screen so you can check it out. We have also some very interesting traditions like St. Patrick's Festival and some sports events like Gaelic football, which is, I don't really know what Gaelic football was before I went into this, so I looked it up because I had no idea what's the difference between a normal football and American football. So it's specifically an Irish team sport with 2 teams of 15 players on a pitch, and I think I'm not really sure. I think it's something. It sounds like it's very similar to rugby, but yeah, you carry, you bounce, you kick, you hand pass. I don't really know, to be honest. So to me it seems very similar to rugby, but it has a little tweaks here and there. I don't know. Also talked about St. Patrick's Festival, and St. Patrick is the patron of Ireland because according to some myth, he used the, how is it called, clover? I think it's clover. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. So he taught the Holy Trinity of the church on those, and yeah, that's why he is so famous in Ireland. That's about everything I have about Ireland. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I will happily answer them for you. Yeah, so let's talk about the build a little bit. So now we've moved on to the outside of the house. I wanted to keep it very simple, but I wanted to also feel the country area. So I put a lot of like grass and plants and flowers, and I also put one of those like bent trees, whatever it is. And I also noticed a stupid glitch when I went in to place a gate into the fence. It just shoots up and it doesn't work for some reason. So very bad. Yeah, so I did the garden with what I set in mind, that I wanted to have like a pair of grandparents who are enjoying their retirement here. So I put some sunbathing chairs, some outside seating, a fire so they could, you know, do some kind of barbecue. So I really enjoyed working with this. So with some gardening supplies, and I really like the combination of the white facade with the blue windows from Discover University. It looks really great, so I'm really happy about how it turned out, and I'm having so much fun with these speed builds, so I hope you like them too. So we were almost at the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can download this build on my gallery. My ID is mysixsims. And yeah, so don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a great day and see you next time.